Welcome to this quiet space, a gentle sanctuary for your mind. Tonight, we will begin a soft and wondrous journey into the hidden landscapes of your own being, into the deep, silent world of the subconscious mind. Together, we will explore the mysteries that lie just beneath the surface of your awareness, not as a lesson to be studied, but as a story to be felt, a lullaby of knowledge to guide you into a peaceful and profound sleep. Before we begin our descent into this beautiful inner world, I would love to know where you are listening from tonight, what small corner of the world you are resting in. Please feel free to share in a comment below. Your presence here is deeply appreciated, and if you find comfort in our journey together, please support this channel with a like and subscribe so that we may continue to explore these wonders. Thank you so much. Now, find a comfortable position, let your body feel heavy and supported, and allow your breath to be easy and slow. Our story begins now. Let the world outside gently fade as your awareness turns inward to a place of profound stillness and peace. Imagine, if you will, a vast and quiet sea, stretching out under a sky of twilight stars. The water is a deep, tranquil indigo, almost perfectly still, and the air is cool and clear. Drifting in this endless ocean is a single, luminous iceberg. From the surface, you see its beautiful, crystalline peaks, sculpted by wind and time, glowing softly in the starlight. This visible part, the part that rises above the water, is like your conscious mind. It is the part of you that is listening to my voice right now, the part that thinks and plans and worries and sets intentions for the day. It represents perhaps 10% of your total self, a beautiful and important, yet remarkably small, fraction of the whole. Now, imagine sinking gently beneath the surface of that calm, dark water. The sound of the world above disappears, replaced by a profound and peaceful silence. Here, below the waterline, the true scale of the iceberg is revealed. It is immense, a colossal mountain of ancient ice stretching down into the silent depths, far beyond what the eye can see. This vast, submerged 90% is your subconscious mind. It is the silent, powerful, and unseen foundation upon which the conscious self rests, the immense and steadying presence that holds your history, your deepest beliefs, your automatic skills, and the very blueprint of who you are. It moves with the slow, deep currents of the ocean, powerful and serene, largely unaware of the fleeting weather patterns that touch the surface. This immense subconscious is not just larger in size, but infinitely more powerful in its capacity. Your conscious mind, that beautiful, focused tip of the iceberg, can process approximately 40 to 50 bits of information per second. It is like reading a single sentence in a book at any given moment. But your subconscious mind, that vast mountain below, processes millions upon millions of bits of information every second. It is not reading a sentence, or a page, or even a single book. It is the entire library, with every book open at once, every story being understood simultaneously, every piece of knowledge interconnected in a silent, luminous web of understanding. It is registering the gentle pressure of the blankets against your skin, the subtle temperature of the air you are breathing, the distant, muffled sounds of the world outside, the complex symphony of your own heartbeat and cellular processes, and the entirety of your life's memories, all at once, without any effort at all. There is a part of you that is so vast, so capable, that it can hold the entire universe of your experience with effortless grace. When you feel overwhelmed by the day, it is only that small, conscious tip of the iceberg, feeling the strain. Deep below, your subconscious is navigating the vast ocean of reality with an ancient and unshakable calm. Within your brain, this deep state of being has a physical home. Scientists call it the default mode network. You can think of it as the brain's gentle, resting hum. When your conscious mind lets go of a specific task, when you are not focused on solving a problem or navigating the outside world, this network of interconnected brain regions becomes quietly active. It is the state of daydreaming, of gentle reminiscence, of wondering about the future. It is the artist's mind when she is waiting for inspiration, the poet's heart when he is lost in thought. This network is the bridge, the whispering gateway between your conscious and subconscious worlds. It is where your mind goes to process your experiences, to connect the events of your day with your deeper memories and values, to weave the story of you. So, as you lie here and your mind begins to wander, know that you are not being distracted. You are simply stepping into this sacred inner workshop, this silent studio where your subconscious mind is gently maintaining the coherence of your entire being, sorting through memories and preparing you for the dreams that will soon come. It is a soft, internal river of thought, flowing always toward integration and wholeness. And from this deep, humming network, our very actions are born. Scientific studies have shown something quite wondrous. The beginnings of a decision, the neural impulse to act, often originate in the subconscious parts of the brain, a full half-second, or even longer, before the conscious mind is aware of having made a choice. It is like a deep ocean current that begins to shift its direction long before a wave is seen to form on the surface. An intention arises from the depths, a suggestion is offered up from that vast library of experience, and the conscious mind, the conductor of the symphony, then has the choice to allow that action to proceed or to veto it. This does not mean you are not in control. It means you are in a beautiful, intricate collaboration with a much wiser, vaster part of yourself. Your impulses, your intuitions, your sudden desires are whispers from this deep place, guidance rooted in a totality of knowledge that your conscious mind could never hope to hold all at once. So tonight, as you drift closer to sleep, you can trust this deeper intelligence. It has been guiding you your entire life, moving you with its silent currents towards safety, growth, and healing. You can let go of the need to consciously manage everything and allow this vast, benevolent presence to hold you, just as the quiet ocean holds the magnificent, sleeping iceberg drifting peacefully under the gentle light of the stars. And as that great, silent mass of the inner self drifts through the deep, another, more intimate ocean breathes within you, a rhythmic and gentle tide of life that you can feel in this very moment. Let your awareness travel from that vast, imagined sea and come to rest within the quiet sanctuary of your own body. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the soft expansion of your abdomen with each breath. Notice the steady, quiet rhythm of your own heartbeat, a faithful drum that has been playing for you since before you were born. These rhythms are the song of your subconscious mind made manifest, the physical expression of a guardian that has never once, in all your years, forgotten its duty to you. This tireless keeper is your autonomic nervous system, the silent conductor of your internal orchestra. It operates without any need for your conscious thought, a perfect system of balance and flow. It has two main branches, like two gentle hands holding you in perfect care. One is the sympathetic system, the part that gives you energy and prepares you for action during the day, like a gentle rising tide. The other is the parasympathetic system, the one that is becoming more active for you now, the one that guides you toward rest and digestion and healing and sleep. It is the falling tide, the soft exhale, the gentle retreat into peace and restoration. As you lie here, you are allowing this parasympathetic guardian to take over, to slow your heart rate, to deepen your breath, to signal to every cell in your body that you are safe and that it is time to repair and renew. You do not have to tell it what to do. You only have to allow it to happen. You are letting go, and you are being perfectly, completely, and expertly cared for. This constant, gentle activity is all in service of a single, beautiful principle: homeostasis. It is a word that simply means a state of perfect inner balance. Your subconscious mind, through the intricate network of your nervous system, is a master artist of equilibrium. Imagine a painter with a palette of infinite colors, constantly adding a touch of warmth here, a hint of coolness there, to maintain the harmony of a vast, living masterpiece. In the same way, your subconscious guardian is perpetually monitoring and adjusting hundreds of variables within your body. It keeps your body temperature within a precise and life-sustaining range, whether the world outside is warm or cold. It maintains the delicate chemical balance of your bloodstream, the exact pressure within your vessels, the precise level of hydration in your cells. It is a silent, ceaseless dance of microscopic adjustments, an act of profound and loving attention that sustains your life from one moment to the next. Feel the deep sense of peace that comes from this knowledge. There is a part of you, an intelligence deep within you, that is devoted entirely to your well-being. It asks for nothing in return. Its entire existence is an act of service to you. You can release the burdens of the day, the worries and the lists, and trust that this perfect, self-regulating system is holding you in its embrace, creating a sanctuary of balance in which you can completely and utterly rest. The physical seat of this ancient guardian lies in the oldest and deepest part of your brain, the brainstem. You can picture it as the root of a great tree, the strong, steady foundation from which the higher, more complex parts of the brain have grown. It is the first part of your brain to have formed, and it connects you to the entire history of life on this planet. The same basic structures that regulate your breathing and your heartbeat are present in creatures that swam in the primordial oceans hundreds of millions of years ago. The intelligence that is breathing you right now is not just your intelligence, it is the intelligence of life itself. It is an ancient, deep, and unwavering wisdom that has been passed down through countless generations. When you trust this part of yourself, you are not just trusting your own body, you are trusting the accumulated wisdom of the ages. You are resting upon a foundation that is as old and as reliable as the earth itself. This ancient root of your being is what connects your mind to your body, translating the silent intentions of the subconscious into the physical reality of your continued existence. A steady, grounding force at the very core of who you are. And this ancient guardian does more than just manage your inner world. It is also your silent scout, constantly and gently sensing the world around you. Long before your conscious mind has a chance to analyze a situation, your nervous system has already scanned the environment for cues of safety or of danger. This process is called neuroception. It is not a thought, it is a feeling, a deep bodily sense of things. It is the reason you can walk into a room and instantly feel a sense of ease, or a subtle, unexplainable tension. Your subconscious mind is reading the subtle shifts in the light, the almost inaudible frequencies in the air, the body language of others, and it is sending you a constant stream of information in the form of feelings. It is the whisper of intuition that tells you to trust someone, the gut feeling that guides you away from harm. Right now, as you lie in the quiet of your room, your subconscious is sensing the safety of your surroundings. It feels the comfort of your bed, the stillness of the air, the gentle quiet of the night. It is this deep, felt sense of safety, registered by your most ancient and wise guardian, that is allowing your body to relax so deeply, that is giving your mind permission to let go and drift away. You are being watched over, from the inside out and the outside in, by a silent, loving, and profoundly intelligent protector. You can surrender to its care, knowing you are completely and utterly safe. In the profound safety created by this silent guardian, in the deep and settled peace of your own body, the doors to the innermost vaults of your being can gently swing open. Imagine now that you are drifting into a vast and silent space, a library that stretches beyond the horizon in every direction. The light here is soft and golden, as if filtered through honey or amber, and the air is still and filled with the gentle, calming scent of old paper, leather, and time itself. The silence is not empty, but full, humming with the quiet energy of stored knowledge, of captured moments. This is the great library of your subconscious mind, the sacred archive where every single moment of your life is perfectly preserved. On these endless, luminous shelves are not just books, but crystalline spheres of memory, each one holding a scene from your past. Here is the exact color of the sky on the afternoon of your 7th birthday. Here is the precise melody of a song you once heard drifting from a passing car. Here is the feeling of cool water on your skin on a hot summer's day, the taste of a favorite childhood meal, the sound of a loved one's laughter. Nothing is ever lost here. Every sight, every sound, every touch, every thought, every fleeting emotion is carefully and lovingly catalogued, stored in perfect detail, waiting patiently in the stillness. This is not a dusty, forgotten archive. It is the living, breathing soil from which the garden of your personality has grown. Every belief you hold, every talent you possess, every preference you have, is a root that draws its nourishment from this deep and fertile ground of memory. You are a being of immense richness and history, and the entirety of that beautiful, complex story resides here, within you, in this quiet, luminous space. As you drift through the endless aisles of this library, you might notice that there are two different ways that knowledge is held here. Some memories are stored in books that can be consciously retrieved. This is your explicit memory. If you wish to recall what you ate for breakfast, or the name of a capital city, your conscious mind, like a diligent librarian, can walk to the correct shelf, pull down the specific volume, and read the information. It is a deliberate and focused act. But the vast majority of the knowledge in this library is not stored in these individual books. It is woven into the very atmosphere of the place, into the architecture of the building itself. This is your implicit memory. It is the effortless knowledge of how to walk through the aisles without stumbling, the way your body knows how to descend a staircase without conscious instruction. It is the quiet feeling of comfort you get when you drift into a particular wing of the library that reminds you of a safe and happy time. It is the skill of riding a bicycle or playing an instrument, a form of memory so deeply embedded in your muscles and nerves that you do not need to think about it at all. Your body remembers. Your emotions remember. The very patterns of your thoughts are shaped by the layout of this great library, by the subtle connections between memories that your conscious mind has long since forgotten. The truth is, most of what makes you you is this implicit knowing, this deep embodied wisdom that guides your movements, shapes your feelings, and informs your reactions, all from a place of profound, silent competence. And the way you access the contents of this living library is a subtle and beautiful art, governed by your emotional state. Every memory, when it was first stored on these shelves, was imbued with the feeling and the physical state you were in at that moment. A memory of a joyful celebration is stored with the frequency of joy. A memory of quiet contemplation is stored with the frequency of peace. This is known as state-dependent memory. To access a particular memory, it helps to be in a similar state. It is like tuning an old, beautiful radio. You must gently turn the dial, adjusting the frequency of your own being until it resonates with the frequency of the memory you wish to hear. The song of that moment can then come through, clear and pure. As you lie here now, enveloped in a state of deep calm and relaxation, you are naturally tuning your being to the frequency of peace. You are effortlessly opening the doors to all the memories in your vast library that are associated with safety, with comfort, with stillness, and with love. You may not see them as distinct pictures, but you can feel their collective presence, a gentle, warming light that emanates from the shelves, a soothing balm for your mind and body. Your feelings are the keys that unlock the infinite rooms of your past, and in this moment, you have chosen the key of tranquility. Within each of these memory spheres, the level of detail is almost beyond comprehension. Your conscious mind, when it experiences a moment, is like an artist making a quick sketch. It captures the main outlines, the most important features, enough to understand the scene. But your subconscious mind is a master photographer with a lens of infinite resolution. It captures everything. It records the exact pattern of the leaves on a tree, the subtle reflection of the clouds in a puddle, the almost imperceptible scent of rain in the air, the faint, distant sound of a church bell that your conscious mind never even registered. It is all there, in perfect, high-fidelity detail. Sometimes, in dreams, the subconscious will open one of these old photo albums, and you may find yourself walking through a room from your childhood, astonished to see the precise pattern on the wallpaper that you had no idea you remembered. This is the gift of your subconscious archive. It holds the untold richness of your life, the beauty and the detail that your conscious mind was too busy to notice. You are the curator of a museum of wonders, a library of luminous moments. As you continue to drift deeper now, imagine yourself floating through this sacred, silent space, surrounded by the gentle, sleeping stories of your own life, held in a state of profound peace and completeness. Every moment of your past is a part of you, and it is all held here, in perfect, loving stillness. And these sleeping stories, these silent volumes bound in light and shadow, do not speak to us in the plain and simple language of our waking day. The subconscious mind is a poet, not a stenographer, and its language is one of feeling, image, and deep, resonant metaphor. Your conscious mind, with its love for logic and order, prefers the clarity of an instruction manual. Step 1, followed by Step 2, followed by Step 3. It is a language of prose, direct and defined. But the subconscious speaks the language of music, of art, of poetry. It does not state a fact directly. Instead, it paints a picture, evokes a feeling, or creates a sound that conveys a universe of meaning in a single, multi-layered instant. A feeling of grief might not be described with words, but may instead be communicated as the image of a persistent, gentle rain falling over a grey and empty landscape. A sense of joy might be expressed as the physical sensation of light expanding from the centre of your chest. This language is not less precise. It is, in fact, infinitely richer and more holistic. It can communicate complex emotional truths and interconnected ideas in a way that linear language never could. Learning to understand the whispers of your subconscious is not about deciphering a code. It is about learning to appreciate the profound and personal art that is constantly flowing from the depths of your own being. The primary tool of this deep, poetic language is the metaphor. Your subconscious is a master artist, constantly taking the raw, complex data of your emotions and experiences and packaging them into elegant, understandable symbolic forms. When you feel overwhelmed by your responsibilities, your subconscious might offer you a dream in which you are trying to climb a mountain made of crumbling sand. The metaphor perfectly captures the feeling of effort and futility. When you are falling in love, you may daydream of flying or floating, the image a perfect representation of the lightness and elation in your heart. These are not just fanciful images, they are intelligent communications. Your subconscious is using the raw materials from your library of memory, images of mountains, the feeling of flying, and using them as a painter uses pigments to create a portrait of your inner world. The world of your dreams and your daydreams is a private art gallery, curated just for you. Every night, you walk through its halls and see the paintings that your deepest self has created. They are not random or nonsensical. They are beautiful, deeply meaningful messages about your hopes, your fears, your wounds, and your greatest strengths, all spoken in the most creative and elegant language it knows. The most vivid and elaborate display of this symbolic language occurs in the theatre of your dreams. During REM sleep, your conscious mind, the logical gatekeeper, steps aside, and the subconscious playwright is given the full stage. It uses the people, places, and objects from your library of memory as its cast of actors and its collection of props. It builds entire worlds, writes intricate plots, and stages elaborate performances that are, at their core, a symbolic exploration of your waking life. A house in a dream, for example, often represents the self. The state of the house, its rooms, whether it is new or old, tidy or cluttered, can be a rich metaphorical commentary on your own sense of identity and well-being. An ocean might symbolize the vastness of the unconscious itself, or the realm of deep emotion. But it is essential to remember that this is your own private play, your own sacred text. Unlike the symbols in ancient myths, the symbols in your dreams do not have fixed, universal meanings. The meaning of an ocean for a sailor who loves the sea will be vastly different from its meaning for someone who almost drowned. The subconscious chooses symbols that are resonant and meaningful to you, based on your unique collection of experiences stored in your personal library. Your dreams are letters from your deepest self, written in a language that only you can truly feel and understand. They ask not to be solved like a puzzle, but to be felt, to be experienced, as a gift of insight from the wisest part of your being. This beautiful, symbolic language is not confined to the world of dreams. It is also spoken by your physical body. Think of the common phrases we use to describe our feelings, phrases that are so often taken for granted. We speak of having a lump in the throat, a heavy heart, butterflies in the stomach, or a weight on our shoulders. These are not just figures of speech. They are often literal descriptions of physical sensations, somatic metaphors that the subconscious creates to communicate an emotional state to the conscious mind. The emotion of anxiety, a complex and abstract concept, is made tangible and real as the fluttering nervous energy in the abdomen. The feeling of unshed grief can manifest as a genuine sensation of tightness and blockage in the throat. Your body becomes the canvas on which the subconscious paints its emotional truths. It is constantly whispering to you through these physical symbols. The tensions, the aches, the sudden flutters, the feelings of warmth and cold, they are all a part of this rich, poetic dialogue. As you learn to listen quietly to the subtle poetry of your own body, you can come to understand the language of your subconscious with ever greater clarity. And as you relax now, as you let go of the tension in your shoulders and allow your heart to feel light, you are speaking back to your subconscious in its own language. You are sending it a message of peace, a signal that all is well, allowing the conversation between your conscious and subconscious selves to become one of harmony and gentle accord. And when this poetic, symbolic language of the deep self flows gently and clearly to the surface of our awareness, when it speaks to us in our waking hours, not as a complex dream but as a simple, sudden knowing, we give it a special name: intuition. It is a feeling, a hunch, a quiet whisper from within that guides us without reason or logic. Imagine this intuition as a deep and silent river, flowing steadily through the inner landscape of your being. Its waters are drawn from the vast library of your every remembered experience, carrying the accumulated wisdom of your entire life. This river doesn't rush or roar. It moves with a slow, powerful certainty, a gentle current that you can learn to feel and to trust. It is the river of your deepest knowing, and its source is the subconscious mind. This gentle guidance, this gut feeling, is not a magical or supernatural event. It is the result of one of the mind's most remarkable abilities: rapid, unconscious pattern recognition. Think of a master botanist who can walk through a forest and, with a single glance, identify a rare flower, name its properties, and know the soil in which it thrives. She does not need to consciously consult a textbook in her mind. Her years of experience have been absorbed so deeply that her subconscious recognizes the pattern instantly and delivers the conclusion as a feeling of pure knowing. In the same way, your subconscious is a grand master of the patterns of your own life. In any new situation, it is silently and instantly sifting through the millions of memories in your inner library, comparing the current moment to every similar situation you have ever encountered. It recognizes the subtle cues, the almost invisible patterns that your conscious mind overlooks, and it delivers its holistic conclusion to you, not as a detailed report, but as a simple, clear feeling. This feels right, or something feels off. Trusting your intuition is trusting the unfathomable processing power of your own deep mind, a form of intelligence that is swift, silent, and profoundly wise. The phrase we use for this experience, a gut feeling, is more literal than you might imagine. Your digestive tract is lined with a complex network of over 100 million neurons, so many that scientists have nicknamed it the second brain or the enteric nervous system. This second brain is in constant communication with the brain in your head, linked by a massive information superhighway called the vagus nerve. The vast majority of the traffic on this highway, perhaps as much as 90%, flows from the gut to the brain. Your gut is constantly sending signals about your environment and your internal state, influencing your mood, your stress levels, and your decisions. It is a more primal, ancient form of intelligence that speaks not in words, but in raw, physical sensation. So, when your subconscious mind recognizes a pattern and arrives at an intuitive conclusion, it often broadcasts that signal through the gut-brain axis. The result is a tangible, physical sensation in your core, a feeling of lightness and expansion when something is right, or a feeling of tightness and unease when something is wrong. Your body is an essential part of your mind. To listen to your gut is to listen to a deep and ancient source of wisdom within you. To navigate the world so efficiently, your subconscious has developed a set of ingenious mental shortcuts, known in psychology as heuristics. These are simple rules of thumb that allow it to make quick, effective judgments without having to weigh every single piece of information. It is like a seasoned master librarian who, upon hearing a request, does not need to slowly consult the central index for every book. Based on years of experience, she has an intuitive sense of which section, which aisle, and even which shelf is the right place to look. These heuristics are what create the feeling of an instant knowing. A thought or a solution seems to pop into your head from out of nowhere, but it is actually the result of your subconscious using one of its trusted, time-saving pathways. This is why you can sometimes know the answer to a question without knowing how you know. It is the gift of a mind that has learned to be so efficient that its workings become invisible, leaving only the elegant and simple conclusion on the shore of your awareness. Perhaps the most beautiful expression of this intuitive river is in how it connects us to each other. Your subconscious mind is an absolute master at reading the non-verbal language of other people. In any interaction, it is processing thousands of cues that your conscious mind misses entirely. The micro-expressions that flash across a face in less than a fraction of a second, the subtle shifts in posture and body language, the minute variations in vocal tone and cadence. It absorbs all of this rich, unspoken data and synthesizes it into a single, holistic feeling about a person. This is the source of your intuitive sense of whether you can trust someone, of whether their words align with their true feelings. It is a form of deep, subconscious empathy, a quiet superpower that allows you to sense the emotional currents flowing beneath the surface of spoken words. As you continue to relax, feel that gentle river of intuition flowing within you, a current of deep wisdom, a stream of quiet connection to the world and to others. It is a gentle guide, always present, ready to lead you towards safety and wholeness, as it now leads you, ever so gently, into the vast and starry landscape of your dreams. As you drift now on that quiet river of intuition, you can feel it widening, slowing, and emptying into a vast and silent sea, the great ocean of sleep. And here, in this boundless, tranquil world, a magnificent and mysterious figure awaits. This is the celestial architect of dreams, the part of your subconscious mind that, every night, builds and dissolves entire universes just for you. With the infinite library of your memories as its building materials, and the silent canvas of your sleeping mind as its domain, it begins its sacred, nightly work of healing, sorting, and creating. This journey marks our gentle passage into the deeper wonders of the inner world, a realm of pure imagination and profound restoration. The architect does its most vivid and important work during a specific phase of sleep known as REM, which stands for Rapid Eye Movement. If you were to watch someone in this state, you would see their eyes moving back and forth beneath their closed eyelids, as if they were watching a spectacular film on the screen of their mind. During this time, the brain is incredibly active, in some ways even more active than when you are awake. This is because the architect is engaged in two crucial tasks. First, it is acting as a master librarian, sifting through the experiences of your day. It carefully sorts through the temporary memories and decides which ones are important enough to be consolidated, to be moved from the mind's temporary holding area into the permanent, luminous shelves of your long-term memory. Second, the architect is an emotional alchemist. It revisits the emotionally charged events of your day and gently processes the feelings associated with them. It works to dial down the intensity of difficult emotions, taking the sharp, painful sting out of a memory without erasing the lesson it holds. This nightly process is essential for your emotional balance and resilience. Your sleep is not an empty void. It is an active and sacred time of mental curation and emotional healing, orchestrated by your own wise and loving inner architect. As this celestial architect begins its work, the entire symphony of your brain changes its tune. The brain waves slow from the faster rhythms of waking life into a beautiful, hypnotic pattern known as theta waves. You can imagine this as a slow, deep, and steady drumbeat that echoes through the vast chambers of your mind. This theta state is incredibly special. It is the same brainwave state that is associated with deep meditation, with profound creative insight, and with the state of hypnosis, where the mind becomes highly open to new learning and positive suggestion. It is the frequency of pure imagination, where the rigid rules of logic and reality soften and dissolve. By entering this theta state during your dreams, your mind is opening a direct portal to the subconscious, allowing for a free and fluid exchange of information and insight. You are entering your own natural state of peak creativity, where you can make novel connections, solve complex problems in symbolic ways, and explore the furthest reaches of your own potential. This nightly descent into the theta rhythm is a gift, a chance to immerse your mind in the very waters of creation itself. While your mind is soaring through these magnificent, self-created worlds, the architect provides one of the most profound expressions of its care for you. It ensures your physical body remains in a state of perfect safety and stillness. Just as you enter the REM stage, a signal is sent from your ancient brainstem down your spinal cord, creating a temporary state of muscle paralysis, also known as atonia. All of your voluntary muscles, in your arms, your legs, and your torso, are gently and completely relaxed, preventing you from physically acting out the grand adventures or intense scenarios of your dreams. You can think of it as a perfect, invisible safety harness, given to an actor on a magnificent and unpredictable stage. It grants your mind complete and total freedom to run, to fly, to dance, to fight a dragon, or to sail across a cosmic sea, all while knowing that your physical body is resting safely and peacefully in your bed. It is a supreme act of trust and protection from your own deep wisdom. You are being held in a state of absolute security, a gentle embrace that allows your spirit to roam the infinite landscapes of your imagination without any risk or fear. Even dreams that seem strange or unsettling often have a deep and benevolent purpose. One prominent theory of dreaming is that it functions as a kind of sophisticated virtual reality simulator for life. This is known as threat simulation theory. The celestial architect, in its ancient wisdom, understands that your survival and well-being depend on your ability to handle challenges. So, within the complete safety of the dream state, it creates scenarios for you to rehearse and practice. You might find yourself being chased, and in the dream, you practice finding a hiding place or a clever escape route. You might face a difficult social situation, and your dream allows you to experiment with different responses. These dreams are not meant to frighten you. They are a form of training. They are a flight simulator for your mind, honing your instincts, sharpening your problem-solving skills, and building your emotional resilience so that you are better prepared for any challenges your waking life might present. Even in creating your fears, the architect of your dreams is acting as your most dedicated and tireless teacher, profoundly committed to your growth and your safety. And the power of this celestial architect is not confined to the ethereal, shimmering worlds of dream. It is also a master alchemist here in the physical realm, capable of transforming the very landscape of your body through the subtle and potent magic of pure belief. Your subconscious mind does not truly distinguish between a vividly imagined reality and the reality of the outside world. It responds to the stories it is told, especially the ones it is told with deep conviction. It is this principle that gives rise to one of the most mysterious and hopeful phenomena in all of medicine, the placebo effect. This is not, as is sometimes thought, a simple trick of the mind or a sign that an illness was never real. It is a profound and tangible demonstration of your own innate power to heal. When a person is given a simple sugar pill but is told it is a powerful new medicine, and they believe it, their subconscious mind accepts this story as truth. It then acts upon that truth, marshalling the body's vast and complex resources to create the very healing that the medicine was supposed to provide. In this act of inner alchemy, the simple substance is transformed into a potent catalyst for change, not by any external chemistry, but by the magnificent, untapped power of the mind itself. Within you resides a healer of extraordinary ability, and the language it understands most clearly is the language of unwavering belief. To understand how this inner alchemy works, we can look at a specific and beautiful example: the release of endorphins. Endorphins are your body's own natural painkillers, powerful neurochemicals that are chemically similar in structure to potent opiates like morphine. They are what create the feeling of euphoria known as a runner's high, and they are a key part of your body's ability to manage pain and stress. In numerous scientific studies, when people experiencing pain are given a placebo they believe to be a painkiller, their brains often begin to release these natural endorphins. The result is a real, measurable, and significant reduction in their experience of pain. They are not simply imagining that they feel better, Their own internal pharmacy, under the direction of the subconscious alchemist, has begun to produce and dispense the perfect medicine for their needs. It is a wondrous thought. You carry within you a deep and ever-present wellspring of natural comfort, a soothing balm that can be accessed and released by the power of your own mind. As you cultivate a state of trust and peace, as you allow yourself to believe in your body's profound capacity for rest and restoration, you are gently turning the key, giving your subconscious permission to draw from this healing well and bathe your entire system in a state of natural, soothing ease. This powerful connection between belief and biology works in both directions, which further proves the principle. The opposite of the placebo effect is known as the nocebo effect. This is when a negative belief or expectation creates a negative physical outcome. If a person is told that a harmless substance will make them feel ill, and they believe it, their subconscious mind can take this negative instruction and begin to manifest the actual physical symptoms of sickness. This is not a reason for fear, but rather a cause for gentle and profound respect for the power you wield within. Your subconscious mind is a loyal and literal servant. It does not judge the instructions you give it. It simply carries them out to the best of its incredible ability. It takes your deepest, most cherished beliefs as its blueprint for reality. This is why the moments before you fall asleep are so precious. As you drift in this soft, suggestible state, you have a direct and open line of communication to this powerful alchemist. By choosing to fill your mind with thoughts of safety, of healing, of tranquility, and of gratitude, you are handing your subconscious the most beautiful and beneficial instructions for its work. You are giving it a golden blueprint, ensuring that the alchemy it performs throughout the night will be one of profound restoration, renewal, and peace. This intricate dance between our inner world of thought and our physical body is the subject of an entire field of science called psychoneuroimmunology. It is a long word for a simple and beautiful idea, that your mind, psycho, your nervous system, neuro, and your immune system, immunology, are not separate entities, but are part of a single, exquisitely interconnected system. They are in constant conversation with one another. When you experience stress, your brain releases hormones like cortisol that, over time, can suppress the function of your immune cells, making you more vulnerable. Conversely, when you experience states of deep relaxation, happiness, and love, your brain and nervous system send signals that can actually bolster and enhance your immune function. Your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs are not abstract, fleeting events. They are tangible, biochemical realities that ripple through every one of the trillions of cells in your body. The state of deep and peaceful rest that you are sinking into right now is not just a pleasant feeling. It is a powerful healing tonic. It is a message of safety and coherence being sent to your entire being, a gentle command that quiets inflammation, supports your natural defenses, and allows the profound, innate intelligence of your body to perform its nightly work of repair and protection in a state of perfect, harmonious balance. Having witnessed its power to transmute belief into biology, we now turn our focus to see how this same deep intelligence acts as the silent gatekeeper of your perception, shaping not only your inner world, but the very way you experience the world outside. Every second of your waking life, your senses are flooded with millions upon millions of bits of information. The light, the sounds, the textures, the temperatures, the sense of the world around you. It is an overwhelming torrent of data, far too much for your conscious mind to ever process. And so, your subconscious employs a silent and loyal gatekeeper to stand at the doorway of your awareness and filter this infinite stream. The physical location of this gatekeeper is a network of neurons at the base of your brain called the Reticular Activating System, or RAS. Think of it as a masterful personal assistant or the most sophisticated search engine ever designed. It has one primary job: to decide what, out of all the available information, is important enough to be brought to your conscious attention. And how does it decide what is important? It listens to you. It pays attention to your beliefs, your goals, your interests, your fears, and your desires. You give the gatekeeper its instructions, and it diligently curates your reality. This is why, when you decide you are interested in buying a particular kind of red car, you suddenly start seeing that red car everywhere. The cars were always there, but now your gatekeeper, your RAS, has been instructed to tag them as important, to lift them out of the background noise and present them to your conscious mind. The reality you experience is not a passive, objective recording of the world. It is an active, personalized creation, a beautiful and intricate collaboration between the universe of information out there and the universe of meaning you hold inside. The sheer power of this filtering mechanism can be seen in a phenomenon known as selective attention. To focus deeply on one thing, your brain must actively choose to ignore many others. In a famous psychological experiment, participants were asked to watch a video of people passing basketballs and to count the number of passes made by one of the teams. They were so focused on this task that a significant number of them failed to notice a person in a full gorilla costume walk directly through the middle of the scene, turn to the camera, beat their chest, and walk off. When asked about it later, they were utterly convinced that no gorilla was ever there. This is not a failure of their eyesight, but a stunning success of their brain's ability to focus. Their gatekeeper, having been given the instruction to count the passes, filtered out everything that was irrelevant to that task, including something as absurd and obvious as a gorilla. This reveals a profound and humbling truth. At any given moment, there is an entire universe of wonder, beauty, and strangeness that is present all around us, but exists just outside the narrow spotlight of our conscious attention. There is always so much more to the world than we see. This knowledge invites a sense of curiosity and awe, a gentle understanding that the reality we perceive is just one single, beautiful thread in an infinitely rich and complex tapestry. This gatekeeper, like any good assistant, develops its own habits and preferences over time, shortcuts that are meant to make its job more efficient. These are known as cognitive biases. One of the most powerful and common of these is the confirmation bias. This is the natural, subconscious tendency to notice, favor, and remember information that confirms the beliefs we already hold. Your gatekeeper, wanting to maintain a stable and coherent worldview for you, will preferentially allow in the evidence that supports your existing opinions, while often overlooking or downplaying evidence to the contrary. It is like a loving librarian who, knowing your passion for a particular subject, always has a fresh stack of books ready for you that supports your theories, while the books that challenge them tend to remain on the higher, harder-to-reach shelves. This is not a malicious act of deception. It is a mechanism for cognitive efficiency. Yet it means that our experience of the world can easily become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe the world is a hostile place, your gatekeeper will diligently highlight every piece of evidence that confirms this for you. If you believe the world is full of kindness and opportunity, it will present you with endless proof of that instead. This gives us a gentle power, the ability to consciously choose the beliefs we wish to nurture, knowing that our silent gatekeeper will then begin to construct a world that reflects them back to us. Perhaps the most subtle work of this gatekeeper is through a process called priming. This is when your subconscious mind is exposed to a stimulus, a word, an image, a sound, an idea that then influences your subsequent thoughts, feelings, and actions, all without your conscious awareness. For instance, in some studies, people who were subtly exposed to words associated with old age, like wrinkle or wisdom, would then physically walk more slowly down a hallway afterwards. Their subconscious was primed for slowness. You can think of it as gently scenting the air of a room. You may not consciously register the soft scent of lavender, but its calming properties are still received by your subconscious, which then sends subtle signals of relaxation throughout your nervous system. In this very moment, your own mind is being primed. The gentle tone of my voice, the peaceful cadence of these words, the very concepts of safety, rest, and wonder. All of these are gentle suggestions being offered to your subconscious. You are intentionally creating an environment, a sensory landscape, that primes your entire being for a night of deep, tranquil, and profoundly restorative sleep. You are setting the stage, scenting the air of your own mind with peace, and your silent gatekeeper is listening, preparing to open the door to a world of serene and healing rest. And as this silent gatekeeper stands its watch, curating the world from the vast library of your own experiences, we become aware that this library may have rooms and corridors and deep foundations that were built long before you were ever born, echoing with the whispers of ancestral rivers. The great psychologist Carl Jung proposed a beautiful and profound idea, that beneath our personal subconscious, which is shaped by our own individual life story, there lies a much deeper, second layer, which he called the collective unconscious. You can imagine your personal subconscious as the waters of a single bay, its tides and currents shaped by the unique shoreline of your life. But this bay opens out into a vast, boundless ocean, and this ocean is the collective unconscious. It is a shared reservoir of psychic energy, a common ground of the soul that connects every human being who has ever lived and every human being who is yet to be born. It is the deep, universal sea of human experience, and your own mind is not an isolated island within it, but a living, breathing part of its mysterious and intelligent wholeness. This idea fosters a quiet, profound sense of connection, a feeling that your own individual consciousness is rooted in something far more ancient and expansive than your single lifetime. The contents of this vast, collective ocean are not specific memories, but universal patterns of experience, which Jung called the archetypes. These are the primordial images, the innate human instincts and blueprints that have structured our understanding of the world since the dawn of time. They are like the invisible crystalline structure that guides the formation of a snowflake. While every snowflake is unique, the underlying pattern is universal. These archetypes are the great, recurring characters and themes of the human story. The hero who must leave home to face a great challenge, the wise old mentor who offers guidance, the nurturing and protective great mother, and the shadow, the hidden or rejected parts of ourselves that we must learn to face and integrate. These are the patterns you see played out in every myth, every fairy tale, every great work of art, and every religion across the world and throughout history. And they also appear, unbidden, in the personal theatre of your own dreams. When you dream of a difficult journey, of finding a wise teacher, or of confronting a frightening figure in a dark basement, you are not just processing your personal day, you are tapping into a story that is as old as humanity itself. Your personal struggles are given a new and sacred depth, seen not as isolated problems, but as your own unique participation in the grand, timeless, and universal drama of the human soul. This poetic and psychological idea is now finding a fascinating echo in the world of modern biology, particularly in the field of epigenetics. Our genes, the DNA that we inherit from our parents, have long been thought of as a fixed blueprint, but epigenetics reveals a more subtle and dynamic story. It is the study of how our behaviors and our environment can cause changes that affect the way our genes work. These changes do not alter the underlying DNA sequence itself, but they act like biological markers, like little switches or dimmer knobs that can turn certain genes on or off, or make them more or less active. You can imagine your genetic code as a vast family library full of ancient books of wisdom. Epigenetics, then, is like the collection of bookmarks, highlighted passages, and notes in the margins left by your ancestors. These marks do not change the words in the books, but they strongly suggest which chapters are most important, which passages to pay close attention to, and how to interpret the stories within. It is a potential physical mechanism for memory to travel across generations, a biological language through which the experiences of our ancestors can leave a subtle, chemical whisper upon our own cellular life. Through this epigenetic lens, we can begin to gently explore the concept of transgenerational trauma. This is the idea that the experiences of our ancestors, particularly deeply stressful or traumatic events, can leave an epigenetic mark that is passed down through the family line. Studies have suggested that the descendants of people who have survived famine, war, or other profound hardships may inherit a subtly altered stress response, making them more vigilant or anxious. This is not a reason for despair, but for a deep and gentle compassion for yourself and for your family. Some of the fears you hold, some of the anxieties that seem to have no clear origin in your own life, may not be yours alone. You may be the sensitive custodian of an emotional echo from your lineage, a story that your body still remembers. To recognize this is not to be trapped by the past, but to be liberated by understanding. It allows you to hold your own struggles with a wider, more compassionate perspective. The gentle work you do to find peace, to calm your own nervous system, is not just for you. It is a gift of healing that ripples backwards and forwards through time, bringing a quiet peace to the entire flowing river of your ancestry. And where these great ancestral rivers meet the landscape of our own daily lives, they begin to carve smaller, more intimate channels, the familiar and comfortable pathways of our habits, woven by a patient and tireless craftsman at the loom of the subconscious mind. While the conscious mind is a brilliant explorer, always seeking novelty and solving new problems, the subconscious is a master of efficiency. It knows that to free up energy for creativity and learning, the routine tasks of life must become effortless and automatic. It seeks to build a solid, reliable foundation of habits upon which the conscious mind can freely and safely play. This weaver of habit, this silent architect of your daily routines, has its workshop deep within the brain, in an ancient cluster of structures known as the basal ganglia. This region is the seat of your procedural memory, the how-to knowledge of your life. It is where the conscious, clumsy effort of learning to ride a bicycle is slowly, through repetition, transformed into the graceful, automatic, and unconscious skill that, once learned, is never forgotten. This part of you is a master craftsman, dedicated to making your life easier. It takes the complex blueprints of your daily actions and, with patient repetition, weaves them into the strong, beautiful, and effortless fabric of your habits. The pattern this weaver uses is a simple and elegant one, a three-part neurological process known as the habit loop. Every habit, from the simplest to the most complex, follows this timeless design. First, there is the cue. This is the trigger, the gentle signal that tells your brain to go into automatic mode and let a particular habit run. It could be a time of day, a specific location, a feeling, or the action that immediately precedes the habit. The gentle light of dawn might be the cue to stretch. The feeling of finishing a meal might be the cue to desire something sweet. Second, there is the routine. This is the habit itself, the physical, mental, or emotional action that you perform. It is the stretching or the reaching for dessert. And third, most importantly, there is the reward. This is the satisfying outcome that tells your brain this loop is valuable. It is worth remembering and repeating. The reward might be the feeling of relief in your muscles after a good stretch, or the pleasant taste of the sweet food. It is this reward that reinforces the loop, making the connection between the cue and the routine stronger and more automatic each time. You can imagine it as a weaver's loom. The cue is the first thread presented. The routine is the shuttle moving back and forth in a set pattern, and the reward is the final knot that secures the thread in place, making the fabric stronger. The beautiful result of this continuous weaving is a state of automaticity. This is the quiet miracle that allows you to perform incredibly complex tasks with little to no conscious thought. Think of the act of driving a car along a familiar route. You are navigating, steering, braking, accelerating, all while perhaps listening to music or being lost in a daydream. Your subconscious, through the well-worn habit loops stored in your basal ganglia, is handling the intricate mechanics of driving, freeing up your conscious mind to wander and reflect. Consider the simple act of walking. You do not have to consciously think, "Now, I will lift my left foot, move it forward, place it down, and shift my weight." Your subconscious handles the thousands of minute muscular calculations for you, effortlessly. This gift of automation is an act of profound kindness and efficiency. If you had to consciously manage every detail of your daily routines, you would be utterly exhausted by the sheer cognitive load. Your subconscious takes on this burden for you, creating a stable and predictable rhythm for your life, so that your conscious awareness can be used for what it does best: learning, creating, connecting, and experiencing the wonder of the world. This process of weaving a habit is not just a metaphorical one, it is a physical reality in the structure of your brain. Your brain is a dynamic, living entity, constantly changing and reorganizing itself based on your experiences. This is the principle of neuroplasticity. Every time you repeat an action or a thought, you strengthen the neural pathway associated with it. The first time you try something new, it is like trying to forge a path through a dense, untamed forest. It requires effort, concentration, and deliberate intention. But each time you travel that same path, the journey becomes easier. A faint trail begins to form. With continued repetition, the trail becomes a well-worn path, then a smooth, wide road. The neurons in that pathway learn to fire together more efficiently, and the connections are strengthened and insulated with a fatty substance called myelin, which allows the electrical signal to travel faster and more reliably. You are, in a very real sense, the gardener and architect of your own neural landscape. The habits you cultivate are the pathways you choose to pave, and as you lie here now, relaxing into a state of peace, you are traveling down a well-worn road to sleep. With each gentle breath, you are strengthening the beautiful, beneficial habit of letting go, making it easier and more natural to return to this place of deep, restorative rest, night after night. And while the master weaver on the loom of habit creates the strong, reliable fabric of our daily lives, it also knows when to leave a thread loose, when to step away from the pattern, and to wander into a secret, walled garden where the seeds of creativity are sown. This is the part of your subconscious that is not concerned with efficiency or automation, but with novelty, with beauty, and with surprise. It is the playful, curious, and inventive aspect of your deep mind, the source of every new idea, every flash of inspiration, and every work of art. This secret garden is a place of quiet gestation, where ideas, like seeds, are allowed to rest in the dark, fertile soil of the mind until they are ready to sprout, seemingly of their own accord. You have surely experienced the magic of this garden when you have tried to solve a difficult problem. Your conscious mind works on it, striving and straining, analyzing it from every logical angle, but the solution remains elusive. Finally, you give up. You go for a walk, you take a shower, or you drift off to sleep. And then, in a moment of complete relaxation, when your mind is on something else entirely, the answer arrives. It appears in your mind, fully formed, elegant, and obvious. This is the gift of the incubation period. The conscious mind plants the seed of the problem, and then by stepping away, it allows the subconscious gardener to do its work. In the quiet background of your awareness, that deep intelligence is watering the seed, turning it over in the soil, connecting it to the vast network of roots from other plants in the garden, until, in a sudden, beautiful moment of insight, it breaks through the surface. This is a gentle reminder that creativity is not always an act of effortful striving. It is often an act of trust, of surrender, of allowing a deeper, quieter process to unfold in its own time. The thinking style of this inner gardener is fundamentally different from that of the conscious mind. Your conscious mind excels at what is called convergent thinking. It is logical, analytical, and linear. It is like a detective following a trail of clues, narrowing down the possibilities until it arrives at the single, correct answer. But the subconscious mind is the master of divergent thinking. It does not seek a single answer. It joyfully explores an infinite number of possibilities. It is like a wide, meandering river that branches into a delta, exploring every possible path to the sea. It makes connections that are not based on logic, but on resonance, on feeling, on some shared, hidden quality. It is playful and associative, and it is the very essence of the creative process. When you allow your mind to daydream, to wander without a specific goal, you are not being lazy or unproductive. You are opening the gate to your secret garden and allowing your mind to engage in this beautiful, divergent play, exploring the fields of possibility and stumbling upon unexpected treasures that your logical mind would have never thought to look for. There is a magical, shimmering state of consciousness where these two worlds, the convergent and the divergent, can meet. It is the state of hypnagogia, that gentle, drifting threshold between wakefulness and sleep. As you lie here now, you may be passing through it. It is a semi-lucid, dreamlike state where you may see fleeting, colourful images behind your closed eyelids, hear strange, disembodied sounds, or experience a cascade of unusual, free-flowing thoughts. Many of history's most creative minds, from the artist Salvador Dalí to the inventor Thomas Edison, understood the immense power of this liminal space. They would intentionally cultivate it, often by holding a heavy object in their hand as they drifted off in a chair. The moment they fell fully asleep, the object would drop, waking them up just in time to capture the strange and brilliant ideas that had surfaced from the depths. This twilight state is a bridge between worlds. It is where the logical, conscious mind is relaxed enough to listen, and the symbolic, subconscious mind is active enough to speak. The wondrous fragments that float by are gems from your own deep wellspring of creativity, offered up as the drawbridge to your conscious, waking mind is gently lowered. At the very heart of this secret garden is the simple, profound process of associative thinking. Creativity, in its essence, is not the act of making something from nothing. It is the act of seeing a new and meaningful connection between two or more things that already exist. Your subconscious mind is a master of this art. It is not bound by the rigid categories and labels that the conscious mind uses to organize the world. It can see the structural similarity between the spiral of a galaxy and the spiral of a seashell. It can feel the emotional connection between the color blue and a piece of music. It is like a cosmic switchboard operator, gleefully connecting calls between the most seemingly unrelated departments in the great library of your mind. A memory of a childhood toy, a line from a book you read years ago, and a feeling from a conversation yesterday can all be woven together to form a brand new idea. Every ingredient for your own profound creativity is already within you, stored on those luminous shelves. Your subconscious is the playful and brilliant chef, constantly and quietly experimenting with new combinations, ready to serve you a surprising and delightful new creation. The moment you relax and allow yourself to receive it. And as we wander through this secret garden of creation, where ideas from a lifetime of experience can connect and blossom in a single, wondrous instant, we begin to notice something strange and beautiful about the atmosphere of this place. Here, in the deep realm of the subconscious, the steady, forward march of time seems to dissolve. The past, present, and future are not a long road stretching out behind and before, but are instead a vast, timeless landscape that can all be seen at once, a boundless, eternal now. Your conscious mind experiences your life like a book, reading one word at a time, one page at a time, in a fixed, chronological sequence. It remembers the past, experiences the present, and anticipates the future. But your subconscious mind experiences your life like a single, immense painting. Every scene from every page of your life's book is present on the canvas simultaneously. The joy of a childhood birthday party is right next to the quiet contemplation of last Tuesday, which is right next to a dream you had about the future. For the subconscious, these events are not separated by years. They are simply different locations in the vast landscape of the self. This is why a particular scent, or a few notes from a long-forgotten song, can instantly and powerfully transport you back to a past moment. Your subconscious, upon receiving the cue, does not just retrieve the memory as a dry fact. It takes you directly to that place on the great painting, and you re-experience the entire emotional and physiological state of that moment as if it were happening right now. This timeless quality explains the enduring power of our most significant memories. For our deep mind, they are not in the past at all. They are living, active presences that continue to inform who we are in this very moment. This timeless nature of memory, once understood, offers a profound pathway for healing. There is a beautiful neurological process known as memory reconsolidation. When you consciously recall a memory, especially an emotionally charged one, the neural pathway that holds that memory becomes temporarily unlocked and malleable. It is as if you have taken a delicate clay sculpture out of its sealed glass display case. For a few hours, before it is put back and the case is sealed again, the clay is soft. You cannot change the fundamental shape of the sculpture. You cannot change the facts of what happened, but you can gently smooth some of its rough edges. You can soften its sharp points. In this brief, sacred window, if you hold that memory while in a new, different, and safer emotional state, you can actually update the emotional charge that gets stored back with it. By revisiting a difficult memory from a place of deep peace and safety, like the state you are drifting in now, you are gently teaching your subconscious that the old danger is no longer present. You are bathing that place on the great painting of your life with a new color, the color of peace. It is a quiet, powerful act of self-compassion, a way of healing the past from the safety of the present. We get a taste of this timeless realm in our moments of peak experience, in what is known as a flow state. You may have felt it when you were completely absorbed in a creative project, a sport, a piece of music, or even a deep conversation. It is a state of being in the zone, where your sense of a separate self seems to fade away, and your sense of time passing completely disappears. Hours can feel like minutes. This magical state often occurs when the conscious, analytical part of our brain, the prefrontal cortex, becomes less active. We stop overthinking, we stop judging, we stop being self-conscious. In short, we get out of our own way and allow the faster, more holistic, and more intuitive processing of the subconscious mind to take the lead. In these moments, we are not thinking about the past or worrying about the future. We are fully and completely immersed in the present. This experience of timelessness is a beautiful glimpse into the natural state in which your deep mind perpetually resides. It is a state of grace, a perfect merging of action and awareness. Nowhere is this fluid and flexible relationship with time more apparent than in the world of your dreams. You have likely had the experience of awakening from a dream that felt as if it spanned hours, days, or even years. You lived through an epic journey, a long and complex story with a rich and detailed plot, only to look at the clock and see that only 10 or 15 minutes have passed. In the boundless theatre of the dream world, the celestial architect is not bound by the rigid laws of physics or the ticking of a clock. It is a master of time, able to stretch a single second into an eternity of experience, or to compress a decade into a fleeting image. Time becomes a creative tool, an elastic medium that can be shaped and molded to serve the narrative and emotional needs of the dream. This means that your nightly journey of healing and exploration is not limited by the 8 hours you spend in bed. In the timeless realm of your subconscious, you have an eternity, each night to explore, to learn, to create, and to heal. It is a boundless space where the stories of your soul can unfold without limit and without rush. And from this timeless, ever-present landscape of the deep mind, there flows a constant current, a hidden wellspring from which all of our emotions are born. Feelings of joy, sadness, fear, and love do not arise from our logical, conscious thoughts. They bubble up from a much deeper, more ancient, and more primal place within us. They are the wordless language of the subconscious, the rich and colourful river of feeling that gives texture and meaning to our entire existence. To understand ourselves, we must learn to listen to the whispers from this deep and hidden source. The physical heart of this wellspring lies in a collection of ancient and beautiful structures deep within your brain, known collectively as the limbic system. This is your emotional brain, and it operates almost entirely beneath the level of your conscious awareness. At its very center is a small, almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. You can think of the amygdala as the faithful, vigilant guardian of your well-being, the emotional smoke detector for your entire system. It constantly scans all of the information coming in from your senses, and it asks one simple, crucial question. Is this good for me, or is this bad for me? Is this a threat, or is this a reward? And it answers this question with incredible speed, long before your conscious thinking brain has even had a chance to register what is happening. If it senses a potential threat, it instantly triggers the release of stress hormones, preparing your body to fight or flee. If it senses something wonderful, it triggers the release of hormones that make you feel pleasure and connection. The emotions you feel are the conscious experience of this ancient, protective, and incredibly intelligent system at work. They are not random or irrational. They are the oldest and wisest form of guidance you possess. This emotional wellspring within us is not an isolated system. It is profoundly attuned to the wellsprings within others. There is a beautiful phenomenon known as emotional contagion, which is the subconscious mind's natural tendency to feel the emotions of those around us. This is made possible by a special class of brain cells called mirror neurons. When you see someone smile, these neurons fire in your own brain in the very same areas that would be active if you yourself were smiling. By subtly and unconsciously mimicking the facial expressions, the posture, and the vocal tones of the person you are with, you begin to experience a faint echo of their own inner state. A simple yawn is a perfect physical example of this deep, resonant connection. This capacity for emotional resonance is the very foundation of empathy. The ability to feel with another person, it is a quiet testament to the truth that we are not separate, isolated beings. We are profoundly social creatures, wired for connection, constantly participating in a silent, invisible dance of shared feeling that binds us all together. And what happens when the water from this deep wellspring is blocked? What happens when an emotion bubbles to the surface and our conscious mind, for whatever reason, decides that it is unacceptable or inconvenient and tries to push it back down? The emotion does not disappear. Its energy remains, active and alive, in the subconscious. You can imagine it like trying to hold a large, buoyant beach ball underwater. It takes a constant and considerable amount of energy to keep it submerged. And eventually, that suppressed energy will find a way to surface, often in unexpected and unhelpful ways. It might emerge as unexplained anxiety, a recurring physical tension in your shoulders or your stomach, or a sudden, disproportionate emotional reaction to a very small and insignificant trigger. The great truth is that your emotions are simply messengers. They carry valuable information from your deep self. All they ask is to be gently acknowledged, to be seen and heard without judgment. The practice of allowing yourself to feel whatever arises, especially in this safe and quiet time before sleep, is an act of profound self-respect. It allows the current of emotional energy to flow through you and complete its journey, leaving you clearer, lighter, and more at peace. This emotional information is not just for your awareness. It is a crucial part of how you navigate the world. Your subconscious uses emotions to create what are called somatic markers. When you have an experience, your subconscious tags the memory of that experience with the emotion you felt at the time. This emotion also has a corresponding physical feeling in your body, a somatic marker. For example, if you made a decision that led to a wonderful outcome, the memory will be tagged with a feeling of warmth and expansion in your chest. If you made a decision that led to regret, it might be tagged with a feeling of hollowness in your stomach. Later, when you are faced with a similar choice, your subconscious will instantly retrieve those old memories and present you with the somatic marker as a form of intuitive guidance. This is the gut feeling we spoke of earlier. It is your body's wisdom, a physical summary of your entire life's experience related to that particular choice. Your emotions are not a distraction from clear thinking. They are an indispensable ingredient of true wisdom. They are the wise, loving counsel of your body, always whispering the way toward wholeness. And as this deep wellspring of emotion colors our inner world, it sometimes seems to reach out and paint the world around us with meaning, weaving together our inner state with the outer world in a series of beautiful and mysterious, meaningful coincidences. The psychologist Carl Jung gave a name to these experiences. He called them synchronicities. A synchronicity is a moment when two or more events, which have no apparent causal connection, happen together in a way that feels personally and profoundly significant. It is the experience of thinking about a dear friend you haven't spoken to in a decade, and in that very moment, your phone rings, and it is them. It is feeling lost and asking the universe for a sign, and then looking down to find a feather on your path, or seeing a phrase on a billboard that seems to speak directly to your heart. These moments feel magical, like a wink from the universe, a quiet confirmation that there is a hidden order, a meaningful pattern to the unfolding of our lives. They dissolve the feeling of randomness and isolation and give us a sense of being a part of a much larger, intelligent, and benevolent story. This experience is made possible, in part, by our brain's extraordinary and innate talent for finding patterns. Our minds are natural-born meaning makers. This tendency is sometimes called apophenia, or patternicity, the deep, human impulse to perceive meaningful connections, even in random data. It is what allows us to see familiar shapes in the clouds, to hear voices in the sound of a rushing stream, or to see a face in the grain of a piece of wood. This is not a flaw or a trick of the mind. It is a fundamental feature of our consciousness, an evolutionary gift that helped our ancestors to survive, By recognizing the pattern of a predator hiding in the tall grass, or the subtle pattern of plants that indicated a source of water nearby. Your mind is designed to search for and create stories. And so, it is constantly scanning the world, looking for connections that can be woven into the narrative of your life. The search for patterns is the search for meaning, and to see one's life as a meaningful story, rather than a series of random events, is a deeply comforting and healing perspective. This search for meaning is then guided by the loyal and silent gatekeeper we met earlier, your reticular activating system. When something is important to you, when it is charged with the energy from your emotional wellspring, you are essentially giving your subconscious gatekeeper a new instruction. You are telling it, pay attention to this. This gives rise to a wonderful illusion of frequency, sometimes called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon. It happens in two stages. First, you encounter something new, a word, a concept, a symbol. Then, because that thing is now tagged as new and interesting, your gatekeeper starts to actively look for it. As a result, you start noticing it everywhere, creating the powerful illusion that it has suddenly become much more frequent. In the same way, when you are deeply contemplating a problem or holding a dear friend in your heart, your mind is primed. Your gatekeeper is on high alert for anything related to that subject. So when the world then presents a piece of the puzzle, an overheard conversation, a book that falls open to a relevant page, or a phone call from that friend, your gatekeeper presents it to your conscious mind with a brilliant, luminous tag that says, "This is important. This is for you." The coincidence feels magical because your own deep mind has conspired with the world to highlight it for you. This beautiful interplay shows us that you are an active participant in the creation of meaning in your life. By consciously choosing where you place your attention, by setting a clear and heartfelt intention, you are giving your subconscious mind its most important instructions. An intention is like giving your gatekeeper a photograph of a hidden treasure and saying, "Please, let me know if you see this." Your subconscious then takes this request and works tirelessly in the background, sifting through the infinite data of your daily life, always scanning for a match. It is not about controlling the world outside, but about attuning your perception to notice the opportunities, the answers, and the connections that are already there. When you cultivate an inner state of openness, of curiosity, and of gentle intention, you are inviting the universe to reveal its hidden synchronicities to you. You become a co-creator in the beautiful, unfolding story of your life, a weaver who works with the threads of the world to create a tapestry of profound and personal meaning. This mysterious and beautiful resonance between our inner and outer worlds is so profound, it sometimes feels as if it mirrors the strange and wondrous laws that govern the very fabric of the cosmos itself. As we contemplate this mysterious resonance between mind and world, this beautiful weaving of inner and outer events, we find that the only language that seems to come close to describing its strange and wondrous nature is the language of modern physics itself, the whispered poetry of the quantum realm. Now, it is important to say that what follows is not a scientific theory, but a poetic metaphor, a way of using the beautiful and counterintuitive ideas of quantum physics to help us imagine the equally beautiful and counterintuitive nature of our own deep mind. We are using the greatest mystery of the outer world to illuminate the greatest mystery of the inner world, and in doing so, we arrive at a place of profound and gentle awe. In the quantum world, before a particle is measured, it is said to exist in a state of superposition. It is not a single thing in a single place, but rather a shimmering cloud of all possibilities at once. An electron is not here or there. It is in a state of being, both here and there, and everywhere else it could possibly be, all at the same time. Let us imagine that a thought or a feeling in your subconscious exists in a similar state of superposition. A decision you are yet to make is not yes or no. It exists in your deep mind as a cloud of pure potential, a shimmering superposition of yes, no, maybe, and 1,000 other subtle variations. It is only when your conscious mind turns its focus upon it, when it measures the thought by asking a direct question, that this beautiful cloud of potentiality collapses into a single, definite state. A clear feeling, a sudden insight, or a firm decision. This metaphor invites us to be patient with our own uncertainty. The feeling of not knowing is not a flaw. It is the natural, creative, and potential-filled state of our deep subconscious mind. Another strange and beautiful concept from this realm is entanglement. Two quantum particles can become linked in such a way that they behave as a single system, no matter how far apart they are. If you measure a property of one particle, you instantly influence the property of the other, even if it is on the opposite side of the universe. We can imagine that our memories, beliefs, and emotions are similarly entangled within our subconscious. A belief you formed about yourself in childhood, a feeling of sadness from a decade ago, and a physical tension in your shoulder today may seem like separate things, separated by vast stretches of time. But in the timeless realm of the subconscious, they can be deeply entangled. Touching one part of this intricate, invisible web, perhaps by hearing a song that reminds you of that past sadness, can instantly send a vibration through the entire network, activating the old belief and the present physical tension all at once. This vision of our inner world as a single, entangled system is profoundly hopeful. It means that there are no truly separate or isolated parts within you. Every small act of healing, every moment of self-compassion, every gentle thought you offer to one part of yourself sends a wave of healing that instantly benefits the whole, interconnected system of your being. This leads us to the observer effect. In quantum physics, the very act of observing a system inevitably changes it. You cannot measure a particle without interacting with it, and that interaction changes its state. Let us imagine that the same is true for your inner world. The act of turning your conscious awareness toward a feeling is not a passive observation. It is an active and transformative process. Your gentle, non-judgmental attention is one of the most powerful forces for change you possess. When you notice a vague and uncomfortable feeling, like a knot of anxiety, and instead of pushing it away or getting lost in its story, you simply observe it with gentle curiosity, it will often begin to shift. The knot may loosen. It may reveal a deeper feeling hidden beneath it. It may simply dissolve in the warm, open space of your awareness. You do not need to fight with or fix your inner states. The simple, loving act of witnessing them is often the most profound healing of all. Your awareness is a form of inner alchemy, a gentle light that has the power to transform whatever it touches. Finally, we can think about the concept of non-locality. Those entangled particles seem to be connected in a way that transcends space and time. Their connection is immediate, not limited by the speed of light. It is non-local. We can use this as a metaphor for those brilliant aha moments, those flashes of intuition that seem to arrive in our minds fully formed from out of nowhere. They do not follow a linear, logical, step-by-step path of reasoning. They are a great, holistic leap of understanding. This is the non-local nature of your subconscious mind. It can connect two distant and seemingly unrelated ideas from the vast library of your memory in an instant, creating a new insight, a new solution, or a new metaphor. It is not bound by the slow, local journey of conscious thought. To trust your intuition is to trust in this beautiful, non-local intelligence that you carry within you. It is to know that your mind has access to a form of wisdom that is vast, instantaneous, and truly wondrous. And in the face of such deep and wondrous complexity, this quantum ocean of the subconscious within, the wisest approach is often not to try and analyze or understand it all, but simply to be with it. To rest in the quiet, spacious presence of the silent witness who observes it all without judgment and without name. This begins our gentle descent into a place of pure being, a final, settling contemplation as you drift ever closer to the shores of deep and restorative sleep. Within you, there is a part of your awareness that is not thinking, not feeling, not remembering. It is simply aware. It is the silent, background presence that knows you are thinking, the quiet space in which all of your feelings arise and pass away. This is the silent witness. This awareness is the essence of mindfulness, not as a complex technique to be practiced, but as a simple truth to be discovered. You can imagine that your thoughts, feelings, and sensations are like clouds drifting through a vast and endless sky. Sometimes the clouds are white and fluffy, and sometimes they are dark and stormy. But you are not the clouds. You are the sky itself. The clouds are temporary visitors. They appear, they linger for a while, and then they drift on, dissolving back into the emptiness from which they came. The sky, however, remains. It is always here, always peaceful, always untouched and unchanged by the weather that passes through it. The sky does not cling to the beautiful clouds, nor does it try to push the storm clouds away. It simply allows them all to be, holding them in a vast, open, and loving embrace. As you rest here, you can let yourself become this sky. You can feel the deep, quiet, spacious awareness that is your true nature, effortlessly witnessing the gentle drift of thoughts and sensations as you fall asleep. This gentle act of stepping back, of realizing that you are the sky and not the clouds, is a psychological process known as decentering. It is the ability to see your thoughts as thoughts, rather than as objective truth. It is the subtle but profound shift from being caught up in a story to being the one who is witnessing the story. Instead of thinking I am anxious, which fuses your entire identity with the feeling, you can gently notice, there is a feeling of anxiety passing through. This simple shift creates a space, a gentle buffer of awareness between the witness and the experience. In this space lies your freedom and your peace. When you are no longer completely identified with your thoughts and feelings, they lose their gravitational pull. They no longer have the power to define you or to disturb your deep inner stillness. It is the difference between being tossed about on the stormy surface of the ocean and resting in the calm, silent, imperturbable depths, watching the distant turmoil on the surface with a sense of compassionate detachment. This contemplative shift has a real and measurable effect upon your brain. If you recall the default mode network, that collection of brain regions that is active when we daydream or let our minds wander, you will remember that it is often busy with self-referential chatter, ruminating about our past and worrying about our future. This is the mind caught in the clouds. However, neuroscientists have found that practices like mindfulness and meditation can gently shift the activity in this network. The noisy, self-obsessed chatter begins to quiet down, and the network settles into a state of more open, peaceful, background awareness. It is as if the network learns to rest as the sky. And so, as you lie here, simply witnessing the flow of your own experience, you are not just engaging in a poetic exercise. You are actively and gently guiding the physical patterns of your own brain activity away from the pathways of stress and rumination and toward the deep, well-worn pathways of tranquility and peace. A simple and beautiful way to anchor this witnessing awareness is to bring it gently into your body. This is the essence of a body scan. There is no need to do anything or to change anything. Simply allow the spotlight of your awareness to rest, for a moment, on the sensations in your feet. You might feel a subtle tingling, a warmth, a coolness, or perhaps nothing at all. Whatever is there is perfect. Then, you can allow that gentle awareness to drift up to your legs, just feeling them resting, heavy and relaxed. And then to your torso, feeling the soft, rhythmic motion of your own breathing. Let your awareness feel the gentle weight of your arms, the softness of your hands, and finally, let it rest in the feeling of your head being supported by the pillow. This simple practice brings the silent witness out of the abstract world of thought and into the direct, tangible reality of the present moment. Your body is a perfect anchor to the here and now, a safe harbor from the wandering mind. By resting your awareness within it, you are inhabiting the peaceful, witnessing presence that is your truest nature and creating the most perfect and serene conditions for your journey into sleep. And as this silent witness rests in the quiet center of your being, it begins to notice the subtle, almost invisible threads that connect our deepest intentions to our outward actions, raising a gentle and profound question about the nature of our will and the dance between our conscious choices and our subconscious desires. For centuries, we have held the image of the conscious mind as a decisive king on a throne, issuing clear commands to the body. But a more gentle, and perhaps more accurate, metaphor might be that of a gentle puppeteer, whose strings are not for control, but for communication, a silent and intricate dance between the deep self and the waking self. In the 1980s, a neuroscientist named Benjamin Libet conducted a series of famous experiments that beautifully illuminated this dance. He asked participants to perform a simple action, like flicking their wrist whenever they felt the urge, and to note the exact moment they first felt that conscious intention. What he found was wondrous. A specific pattern of brain activity, which he called the readiness potential, would begin to build up in the brain about a half a second before the person reported feeling the conscious urge to act. This suggests that the impulse, the initial spark for the action, arises from the deep, subconscious ocean first. It is a suggestion, an offering, a gentle tug on one of those luminous strings from the puppeteer, bubbling up from the vast totality of your memories, habits, and desires. This does not need to be a frightening thought. It does not mean you are not in control. It simply means that your actions are not born in a vacuum. They are rooted in the deep, rich soil of your entire being, a comforting thought that suggests a profound coherence and integrity to the life you are living. Crucially, Libet's experiments revealed another, equally important part of the story. While the initial impulse may arise from the subconscious, there is a small but vital window of time, about 1/10 of a second, just before the action occurs, in which the conscious mind can intervene. He called this the power of veto. The conscious mind may not always be the author of the impulse, but it holds the position of the final editor. It has the power to say yes and allow the action to proceed, or to say no and prevent it. Some have called this free won't rather than free will. Your conscious awareness, that silent witness, acts as a wise and discerning gatekeeper. It can watch the impulses as they arise from the deep, and then choose, with intention, whether to let them pass into the world as actions. This reframes our power from one of forceful initiation to one of mindful selection. It invites us to cultivate a quiet awareness, a state of being where we can feel the gentle tugs of the puppeteer and choose, with grace and wisdom, how we wish to dance. To add another layer of beauty to this story, we can look to the work of Michael Gazzaniga with split brain patients. His research revealed a fascinating part of our left brain hemisphere, which he named the interpreter. This part of our mind is a master storyteller, and its main job is to create a coherent and plausible narrative to explain our own behavior. It constantly watches what we do and instantly invents a reason for it, creating a seamless feeling of conscious control. For instance, if a subconscious cue caused a patient to stand up, their interpreter module would immediately supply a conscious reason like, "I felt thirsty, so I'm getting a drink of water," even if that wasn't the original, subconscious trigger. We all have this inner narrator. It is the voice in our head that creates a tidy, logical story of our life, making us feel like a single, rational self who is always in the driver's seat. To understand this is to be able to hold our own stories about ourselves a little more lightly. It invites a gentle humility, a curiosity about the deeper, unseen currents that may be guiding us, and a sense of wonder at the beautiful and necessary illusions our own minds create to help us navigate the world. This gentle guidance from the subconscious is happening all the time, through countless subtle channels. Think of the influence of subliminal messaging, where an image or a word is flashed too quickly for your conscious mind to register, yet it is still perceived by your subconscious and can subtly influence your mood or a subsequent choice. This is another example of a quiet suggestion offered up from a part of your mind that perceives far more of the world than your conscious self. The choices you make are the result of an incredibly rich and complex dialogue between what you consciously know and what your deep mind subconsciously perceives. You are a porous, sensitive being in constant conversation with a world of subtle influences. And as you lie here now, you are consciously choosing to immerse yourself in an environment of peace. You are allowing your deep mind to be influenced by the gentle cadence of these words, the comfort of your bed, and the quiet of the night, a beautiful and intentional act of guiding your whole being toward a state of profound and healing rest. And so, we gently release the image of the puppeteer and its strings, and in its place, we begin to hear the faint and beautiful strains of music. We realize that we are not a puppet, but a symphony, a magnificent and complex orchestra where every part, conscious and subconscious, rational and intuitive, has a vital and harmonious role to play in the grand performance of the self. There is no hierarchy, no master and no servant, only a beautiful and collaborative creation of the music that is your life. Within the great concert hall of your brain, you can imagine the two hemispheres as the primary sections of the orchestra. The left hemisphere is like the precise and elegant string section, with its mastery of language, logic, sequence, and fine detail. It follows the sheet music with beautiful precision, ensuring the structure and order of the piece. The right hemisphere is like the powerful brass and emotive woodwind sections, playing in the language of the whole. It is attuned to imagery, to emotion, to intuition, and to the overall feeling and context of the music. It plays not just the notes, but the soul of the piece. And connecting these two magnificent sections is the corpus callosum, a great bridge of nerve fibers that acts as the conductor, ensuring that the two halves are in constant communication, sharing information, and playing in perfect, resonant harmony. True wisdom, the most beautiful music the mind can create, is born not from one section alone, but from the seamless integration of them both. And as you sleep, your brain is quietly working to strengthen this integration, to tune the instruments and synchronize the rhythms, so that you may awaken with a mind that is more whole, more balanced, and more harmonious. A beautiful modern theory of consciousness, known as integrated information theory, suggests that this very integration is the essence of what it means to be aware. The theory proposes that consciousness is not measured by the sheer amount of information a system can process, but by how deeply and richly that information is integrated. A system is conscious to the degree that it is a unified and irreducible whole. The beauty of a symphony does not come from the total number of notes played by the individual musicians. It comes from the way those thousands of notes are intricately woven together to create a single, coherent, and meaningful piece of music. You cannot understand the symphony by listening to each instrument in isolation. Its magic exists only in their integration. In the same way, you are not a collection of separate parts, a conscious mind, a subconscious mind, a body, a soul. You are a single, unified, and deeply integrated being. Your very awareness, the feeling of being you, is the music that this integration plays. Every part of you belongs. Every instrument is essential to the final, beautiful sound. We can feel this state of integration as a deep sense of inner coherence. Coherence is a real, measurable state where the various rhythms of your body begin to synchronize and flow together in a smooth and orderly way. Your heart rate, your breathing patterns, and your brain waves all shift out of a chaotic, jagged state and into a smooth sine wave-like rhythm. It is a state of optimal efficiency, of low effort, high performance functioning. But more than that, it is the physical feeling of peace. It is the state we call being in the zone or in flow. As you lie here, listening to these words, you are gently coaxing your own being into this state of coherence. Your breathing has likely become slower and more regular. Your heart rate has gently decreased, and your brain waves are shifting from the faster frequencies of the day into the slower, calmer, more coherent alpha and theta waves of deep relaxation. You are actively tuning your inner orchestra, inviting all the musicians to listen to one another, to find a shared rhythm, and to create a soft and soothing lullaby of profound inner peace. A final beautiful model for this inner orchestra is described by the polyvagal theory. It suggests that our nervous system has three primary pathways, three different songs it can play, that determine our entire experience of the world. There is the most ancient song, that of the dorsal vagal system, which is a state of shutdown or collapse when faced with overwhelming threat, a deep, slow, minor key piece. Then there is the song of the sympathetic nervous system, the music of mobilization, of fight or flight, an energetic, fast-paced, and dramatic passage. And finally, there is the most recently evolved and most beautiful song, that of the ventral vagal system. This is the music of safety and social engagement. It is a state of calm, connected presence, where we feel safe, curious, and open to the world. A beautiful and gentle adagio. As you rest here, in the safety and comfort of your own space, you are activating this ventral vagal pathway. You are choosing to play the symphony of safety. And this beautiful music is a signal to every single cell in your body that all is well, that you are safe, that you are cared for, and that it is time to let go, to restore, and to enter a state of deep and healing harmony. And as the last gentle notes of this inner symphony fade into a profound and peaceful silence, the entire orchestra, the conductor, the concert hall itself, all seem to dissolve, returning to the vast and tranquil mystery from which they first arose. We have come full circle on our journey tonight, returning once more to the shores of the great subconscious ocean. But we return to it changed. It is no longer a dark and unknown abyss, but a warm, familiar, and life-giving sea of being. This is your home. This is your source. And the process of falling asleep is the gentle, sacred, and nightly pilgrimage of returning to it. This return is a process of beautiful and blissful dissolution. The part of you that you call I, that small, precious, conscious self that has navigated your day, the one who worries and plans and strives and holds a sense of separateness from the world. This self is now being invited to take a well-deserved rest. The boundaries of this ego, so necessary for your waking life, are now beginning to soften, to blur, and to dissolve, like a single, perfect snowflake melting back into the silent water of a vast and quiet lake. This is not a loss, but a liberation. It is a release from the constant effort of maintaining a separate identity. It is the joy of the wave as it finally lets go of its form and settles back into the deep, peaceful stillness of the ocean. This nightly surrender is a sacred practice. It teaches your entire being the profound art of letting go, reminding you that your truest nature is not the fleeting, individual wave, but the boundless, eternal, and interconnected ocean itself. As you surrender, as you dissolve, you sink into the deepest and most restorative phase of sleep. This is known as slow-wave sleep. On the monitors of scientists, your brain waves would now appear as long, slow, powerful, and majestic delta waves. The fast, choppy ripples of your busy waking mind have finally calmed. The gentle, rolling swells of relaxation have passed. Now, you are in the deep. You are experiencing the profound, slow-moving groundswell of the deep ocean, a rhythm of utter tranquility and release. It is in this state, when your conscious mind is at its most distant, that the most profound physical healing occurs. Your body, guided by its own ancient subconscious wisdom, begins its nightly miracles. Your pituitary gland releases growth hormone, which helps to repair your muscles and tissues. Your immune system is at its peak of activity, seeking out and dealing with any pathogens. Your cells regenerate. Your energy stores are replenished. By letting go of your conscious self, you have created the space for the deep, infallible intelligence of your body to perform its sacred work of restoration. And a particularly beautiful part of this restoration is the cleansing of your mind. In recent years, neuroscientists have discovered a remarkable system in the brain, which they have named the glymphatic system. You can think of it as a microscopic network of pipes and channels that runs alongside the blood vessels in your brain. During your waking hours, these channels are constricted, but when you enter deep, slow-wave sleep, they open up, allowing the clear, life-giving cerebrospinal fluid to flow through your brain tissue at a much faster rate. This increased flow acts like a gentle, cleansing tide. It washes through the intricate pathways of your brain, collecting the metabolic waste products and toxic proteins that have built up throughout the day as a natural byproduct of your thinking. It is a literal, physical spring cleaning for your brain, a gentle, internal shower that rinses your mind clean, leaving it fresh, clear, and renewed for the morning. Your sleep is not a void. It is an active and elegant process of purification. As you drift now in this cleansing, healing, and timeless ocean, feel your connection to all of life. In this very moment, millions, and indeed billions, of your fellow human beings around the world are also making this same sacred journey. They are laying down their burdens, releasing their conscious selves, and returning to the same universal ocean of being. The animals in the forests, the birds in their nests, The great whales in the sea, they too are joining in this silent, nightly ritual of surrender and renewal. Sleep is the great equalizer, the shared and holy pilgrimage that unites all of us. Your own quiet, sleeping breath is a single, harmonious note in a vast planetary chorus of quiet breathing. Your return to the subconscious is part of a great, collective tide of consciousness, pulling back from the countless shores of the waking world to rest, together, in the deep, shared waters of our common source. And here, in this warm and silent sea, held by the gentle currents of a shared and universal peace, you can finally let go completely, ready for the gentle awakening that awaits on the distant shore of a new day. And here, held in the deep, you rest. There is nothing more to do, nothing more to know. The journey for tonight is complete, and all that remains is the silent, healing peace of this profound and sacred darkness. My voice will soon fade, leaving you to the care of your own wise and loving inner world. The guardian of your breath and beat is watching over you. The luminous library of your memories is settled and still. The celestial architect of your dreams is preparing its silent, beautiful theatre, and the great symphony of yourself is playing its softest, most gentle, and most healing lullaby. You are safe, you are whole, and you are in a state of deep and perfect peace. Do not worry about the morning. Do not concern yourself with the moment of waking. The self that awakens on the shore of the new day will be the same self that so bravely and gently let go tonight. But you will awaken changed. You will awaken renewed. You are like a beautiful ship that has returned to its home port after a long voyage across the sea of a busy day. And now, in the quiet harbour of the night, you are being cared for. Your sails are being mended. Your hull is being cleaned and strengthened, and your cargo hold is being filled with the quiet treasures and insights gathered on your journey through the subconscious. You will awaken as yourself, but as a clearer, calmer, and more rested version of yourself, ready for the new day's journey. And so, we end our journey with a final, gentle thought on the beauty of your own awareness. For most of your life, you celebrate the bright, focused, and brilliant light of your conscious mind. It is the light of the sun, the light that allows you to see the world in sharp detail, to solve problems, and to navigate your path. But do not forget the other light, the light of your subconscious. This is the soft, gentle, and mysterious light of the moon and the stars. It is an ambient, all-encompassing glow that does not reveal the sharp edges of things, but instead reveals their hidden connections, their mystery, and their soul. The night is not the absence of light. It is just a different, quieter, and more ancient kind of light. Your consciousness is a thing of beauty in all its phases, in its brilliant, sunlit day and its deep, starlit night. Thank you for allowing me to share this journey with you. It has been an honor to walk with you into these quiet and wondrous landscapes of the mind. May your sleep tonight be deep, dreamless, and profoundly restorative. May it heal your body, calm your mind, and soothe your soul. And may you awaken in the morning feeling refreshed, renewed, and at peace. If these stories and this time together have brought you any comfort, please consider leaving a comment below to share your experience, or perhaps where in the world you are resting tonight. Liking this video and subscribing to the channel provides gentle support that helps this quiet space to exist for others who may need it. Thank you so very much. All that is left now is to let go, to surrender to the silence, to trust in the night. Sleep well. Sleep now.